High Five giving us a bird's eye view of the project taking shape under Nashville streets. The Boring Company's nearly $300 million tunnel connecting downtown to B&A.
And while the company promised transparency and collaboration, Nashville city leaders say that is the last thing that they're getting. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Metro Council leaders have long said they have been left out of the loop on this project.
Yeah, investigative reporter Levi Ismail is with us now. Levi, I know you have gone through what council members say is proof that this company has no interest in working with the city, right?
You know, Rory and Carrie, council members shared with me some of the emails where they tried to work with the Boring Company and got nowhere. Now we're hearing from people around the country who warn that this project may have little to do with Nashville and everything to do with proving it's possible to avoid oversight. By the time politicians took their place and the revolving door of speakers was in full effect, you could feel the hype building.
This might just be the coolest announcement that we've made since I've been here.
Up to this point, we had only heard rumors, but soon Tennessee Governor Bill Lee confirmed that rumors had become reality.
Soon, Nashville will be home to the Music City Loop.
Elon Musk's Boring Company had just promised a 10-mile, roughly $300 million privately funded underground tunnel, shuttling people between downtown and Nashville International Airport. By far, their largest project to date. But short of what we saw from similar loops in Las Vegas, there were no Nashville renderings or studies to prove if it's even feasible. In fact, News Channel 5 Investigates requested any proposals or permits filed by the Boring Company to the governor's office, the Tennessee Department of Economic Development, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation. Not one said that they had anything at the time, even though the Boring Company says they need at least 45 separate permits to make this tunnel possible.
The item passes. And the lease is approved. Thank you, Commissioner.
Lawmakers voted to lease the Boring Company this free state land, meaning that in about 2 weeks, we went from announcement to breaking ground on one of the most ambitious transportation projects in state history.
I'm looking at a backroom deal that our state did with the company without engaging the people or the local government.
Nashville Council member at large, Delisha Porterfield, says this goes beyond just a lack of transparency, pointing to the green fence right behind her that was already up a day before the vote to lease the property.
And government does not move that fast. So for this to move so quickly without real community engagement, without having questions answered, without engaging with our local government, it is very frustrating.
Porterfield says most of the council had no clue about this project. Meanwhile, the Boring Company says they've been in talks with state and local officials since March 2024. We do know Porterfield sent the Boring Company this email 2 weeks after their announcement, inviting them to a joint committee meeting where they could finally present the Music City Loop, maybe even answer some questions.
And they declined that meeting. They said that they did not have any business before the Metro Council, that they were working with the state, and that while they were committed to transparency and community engagement, they would not meet with us.
It's really not something I would take lightly.
Dr. Warren Sturman is the former vice mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Right, it's more of the move fast and break stuff mantra.
And Juan Matute is the deputy director of transportation studies at UCLA. Both live on opposite ends of the country, but have each seen the Boring Company promise one thing, have communications fall through, and ultimately remove cities from their website.
There seems to be just this idea that this is going to solve some sort of transportation problem, and there's a fixation of trying to demonstrate that they're right.
Musk's idea, which started as a tweet in California traffic where he said, "Traffic is driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging." Well, that later turned into a promise to build this high-speed underground tunnel meant to cut airport travel in Chicago from 50 minutes down to just 12.
I think this is going to be transformative for Chicago.
Around the same time, the Boring Company was granted a conditional permit to begin digging in Baltimore. And years later, Fort Lauderdale's mayor was all in for a tunnel to the beach.
It's an old way of dealing with things, but a new way of addressing it. Cheaper, faster, and safer.
We pulled the plug before we got to that point.
Except for Las Vegas and test tunnels in Texas, none of the Boring Company's other projects in nearly a decade ever broke ground. Then there's Nashville.
Do I get a little chuckle? Yeah. We're like, oh, it's this city now.
The Boring Company's reputation of ghosting cities is well documented, but Matute says the Nashville plan could work, and it has very little to do with Nashville. If the Boring Company proves they can bypass local government and environmental regulations by digging below state property and not accepting taxpayer money, they can do the same in any other city as long as they have the support of state leaders.
I don't think they'll make money on it, but I don't think that's the point. I think it's doing it that's the point.
While I understand that this project is a project that's a partnership with the state, it will have a direct impact on the residents of Nashville and Davidson County, and those are my constituents.
In California, neighbors sued after learning the Boring Company was trying to get an exemption from the state's strict environmental review laws. The Boring Company later settled and pulled out of the project.
There was just going to be so much delay that they looked elsewhere.
If the Boring Company is committed to working with Nashville, Matute says they should understand the need for a balance between innovation and regulation. But Musk has made it clear this kind of oversight only gets in the way.
You have to get permission in advance as opposed to, say, paying a penalty if you do something wrong, which I think would be much more effective to say, like, look, we're going to do this project. If something goes wrong, then we'll be forced to pay a penalty, but we do not need to go through a 3 or 4 year environmental approval process.
The dig first and pay penalties later gamble in Las Vegas wasn't without its own issues. A ProPublica report uncovered that the Boring Company violated environmental regulations nearly 800 times over 2 years in their only working tunnel open to the public. Nevada regulators fined the company $240,000 after accusing it of digging without approval, releasing untreated water onto the city streets, and spilling muck from its trucks.
There are too many unknowns. The environmental impacts on this, the financial impacts, the safety impacts on this.
None of that uncertainty has stopped any of this from moving forward, thanks in no small part to friends in Tennessee's highest office. But Porterfield says now that hype has died down and questions have only multiplied, maybe it's time state leaders give Nashville a say before it's too late.
Now, we did reach out to the Boring Company and requested to hear their side, but haven't heard back. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell, meanwhile, submitted a series of questions to the Boring Company and got in return what he said were incomplete answers. The Boring Company, meanwhile, posted many of its answers on its websites for anyone to review. They've also begun testing soil samples along their proposed route. No word yet on any meeting with local council members. With News Channel 5 Investigates, I'm Levi Ismail.